Hello everybody, welcome back out of the case to the Skyflight 44, aka Sect 44, and today I'm going to continue to play Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. Now, I said this a couple of times before, but I really should get to talking about the actual game instead of talking about the story and all of the things about it, but we're actually, if you want to just pay attention to the story, and what you actually have to do to progress the story, there's really only like 4 minutes you really have to watch in this actual. Actually, you really just have to watch this next cutscene, and that's going to be about it. But we're going to be doing the next little challenge thing. It's going to be skyboarding.
Tweaking the old engine, eh?
Why? What have you heard? Who are you? I mean, what are you doing here? Did the committee send you?
Sorry, sir. We did not mean to upset you.
Yeah, well, you can't be too careful these days, right? I mean, first they accuse me of using nanoroids, right? Then they say I'm using illegal alternative fuel. Do I look like a cheater to you?
No. Not at all. You seem A-okay to me.
All right, here, man. Let's race. And I'll prove I'm not a cheater. If you can beat me, I'll have a surprise for you.
Well, now we're going to be doing skyboarding. If you don't really want to watch extra shit and you just want to go through the plot, skip this part. The rest of this part is going to be skyboarding. And to be honest, I'm kind of on... First off, I love the music. I really do love the music for the at least this part of skyboarding. But I'm on the line of whether this is better or worse than the other racing that you do in the Ratchet and Clank. You just did Ratchet and Clank series. Hoverboarding, is it better than skyboarding? Yes and no. Skyboarding has a bit more meat to it, but it can be just as frustrating, if not more frustrating, than hoverboarding. Especially when compared to the Blackwater city hoverboarding. That shit was, quite easy. And quite quick. But, is this better or worse than hover bikes? Well, at least you only, when you actually had to do hover, do hover bikes, that racing, you really only had to do one challenge, and then there was 9 other challenges for you to do, later on if you really wanted to. And while they did try to change up the tracks, it's not even close to how much they changed the tracks for this one. Skyboarding is great, and I could very well say is the best attempt at racing the entire series, just because of what they actually do with just the tracks, and just the fact that the AI is competent. There's definitely rubber band AI. If you're doing badly, they're really not going to play all that well. If you're doing really well, they're going to be on your ass. You're really never going to lose them. And no, oh crap. When you actually crash like that and you go back a little bit, they're not going to be too far from you. You can actually easily beat them. It's just when you crash, get it back up, then crash, and then you actually go farther back than when you actually crash. So a bit farther back, so you can really just crash and then lose, and then have to go back farther and farther.
So, you said you'd give us something if we beat you?
This is a shrink ray. They are very difficult to acquire.
Here, man. You can have these too. Ugh, they're way too slippery for me to use.
Oh well. Here's the good thing about skyboarding. The big thing that the other two don't really do too well. The entire track, while still, well, fundamentally the same, because we're going around the same track, all of the obstacles have changed dramatically, and they will continue to change dramatically with every single race you do. This is the good portion of skyboarding, the best thing about it. However, I really don't like I don't like the AI in it. There's just it's hard for me to explain it, but I like this better than hoverboarding and hoverbiking. At the same time, I think this is worse. I really have a hard time explaining it because I should be happier with this. It's just, maybe it's just because, you know, hoverboarding and hoverbikes really don't take up all that much time when you look at the, you know, big picture in the final game. You're playing far more Ratchet gameplay than you'd ever do hoverboards, hoverbikes. But to get money, you are going to have to, you know, do a lot of these challenges. And because of that, you're going to be here for, hey, look at this, 14 minutes. I probably spent 11 to 12 minutes. And this is, I did a test playthrough of this, so I had practice. I actually did have quite a bit of practice too. But I actually, you know, did have to spend like 11 minutes on freaking skyboard, but let's just see that. That's about as long as a Ratchet level. Well, hey, the last one, I forgot what planet it was called, but the last level we did, the entire Ratchet gameplay was was less than, you know, 11 minutes. So, yeah, that might be where some of my aggravation with skyboarding comes from. But it's not going to be the end of it. There's still going to be quite a lot of things. Now, one of the things that I personally never knew when I originally played the game was, number one, you don't actually have to hold forward to go forward. That's one big thing. Number two, you can actually move. You can move in this. You can move in all three axes with, you know, the skyboard. You can left, right, go forward. Can't go backwards though, but you can also go up and down. You can jump. If you actually hold forward and boost, you'll go up. Well, if you jump and then do so, if you're just on the ground, you're just going to be going forward. But if you actually move back and, you know, press the boost button, you'll actually go straight down. And it can actually be quite fun just having full control of your skyboard, which is pretty nice. But I'm just gonna throw this. Some of these levels are just there to absolutely fuck with you. That beginning segment with all that wind, or well, from the fan at least, that's gonna really screw with you if you're on the like boost lane, on the red boost lane. But it's not too bad. It just takes a little while. But I would say it again, this music is kick-ass. If anything else, this music kicks ass, and I'm glad Skyboarding was created for the music. Actually, now let's think about it. the hover board, but this one especially reminds me of the skateboard race, or skateboard races you have to do in Spyro. Not Enter the Dragonfly. Why the fuck would I ever think about that game? Year of the Dragon. I am so sorry I ever mixed those two games up. One is the best in the series. The other is a complete bastard. It bastardizes the entire Spyro franchise. But, oh well. There was, not hover bikes, but just skateboards and snowboard races you have to do that kind of feel sort of like this, and at least in its level design. You know, the lava, just all of the, not separate routes, but, like, there's higher platforms you can get to and all that crap. Oh yeah, this one's nice. This one's really nice. If you don't actually know how to, or that you can actually change your altitude, with the skyboard, this one's going to be a little bit of trouble, let's just say. No, you actually don't have to go straight through those fuel panels. You can actually be a little bit over it and still actually go and get it. Not to mention, this is not all that difficult, a final track, but it is probably the most epic. There's a lot of things that are going to impede you, but at the same time, you get so many of these fuel boost just pickups that you can, for the most part, just boost for at least half of the actual level. Probably more than half the level. But yeah, especially in this part, you're just, it's quite nice. You're not really on a like on a skateboard anymore. You're just flying, which is nice. I've always liked flying in platformers. I just wish there was more platforming in this game. And actually, one of the big things why I don't like why I specifically say I don't like this game and all of the extra challenges it puts in is the fact that the best challenge that they could put in isn't even in this game. The challenge that they should have had in the game was a combat arena. They don't have a combat arena. They have everything but a combat arena, which to me is just a why the fuck did you do that sort of deal. That you could have padded the game out, and I really wouldn't have cared in the combat arena. It would have gave you, some extra bolts, get some more of those upgrades, which I almost never get. It might have actually gotten me to use some of those other weapons that I'm most likely never actually going to level up. Though I have been dying a little bit more in this game than I usually do. So I am leveling up a little bit better than, well, I did in my practice run anyway. But, oh well, I've always liked the combat arenas, and the fact that there's not one in this game sucks. Actually, the fact that there's one in Secret Agent Clank further pisses me off. It shows that, one, they could have done so, and two, that Secret Agent Clank, and you had the combat arena? Why not have the Clank challenges and Secret Agent Clank? Oh, stupid. See you in the next part, everybody.